Welcome to 9.2, Systems of Linear Equations. We're going to solve by elimination. And the first one, we're going to multiply the bottom by negative 2. So if we distribute that through, that's negative 2x plus 4y equals negative 16. All right, so let's set up the equations again. And we will have the ability here to add, and the x's eliminate. So that's 7y equals negative 14. We divide off the 7, and y equals negative 2. So we substitute that back into one of the equations. 2x plus 3 times y equals 2. So 2x minus 6 equals 2, or plus negative 6. Add 6, and 2x equals 8. Divide off 2, x is 4, and y is negative 2. Going on to number 3. So, if we look at this, neither one of them go into anything, so we're going to multiply the top. I'll just get rid of the x's. We'll multiply the top by 4, and the bottom by 3. And we get 12x plus 8y equals 160, 180, negative 180. And the bottom one, we get negative 12x plus, negative 9y equals 90. So we add those together. The x's are reduced. That's negative y equals negative 90. So y is positive 90. Substitute it back in. So 3x plus 2 times y equals negative 45. So 3x plus 180 is negative 45. Subtract 180, and 3x equals negative 225. And divide off the 3. So x is negative 225 over 3. So we have negative 225 over 3 and 90 for our answer. And negative 225 over 3 reduces to negative 75. And that's our final answer. Okay, again, I'm going to multiply the bottom one by either a positive 2 to make that negative 4, or a negative 3 to make that negative 3. So I'll just do the negative 3 just to do it. So we have 3r plus 4s equals 3. That's the top equation. The bottom one, we have negative 3r plus 6s equals positive 12. Okay, so if you distribute that through, that's what you get. Now we add these together. The r's reduce out, cancel out. We have 10s equals 15. Divide by 10, and we get 3 halves for s. So to get r, we plug it into one of the equations and solve. So 4 times 3 halves is going to be 6. Subtract 6, and 3r equals negative 3. Divide off the 3, and r equals negative 1. So we have negative 1, 3 halves. Number 7. Now none of these work, so we're going to have to multiply both equations by something. Since the 6 and the 7 are opposite signs, I'll go with those. So they both go into 42, so we're going to multiply that by 7 and this by 6. 35x minus 42y equals 28. 18x plus 42y equals 48. So we add those together, and we get 53x. The y's are canceled, and that's 76. Divide off the 53, and x is 76/53. Now I'm going to plug it into, it doesn't matter which one, I guess the bottom one. 3 times x, 76 over 53, plus 7y equals 8. And 3 times 76 is 210, 228. 228 over 53. Plus 7y equals 8. So we're going to subtract 228 over 53 to the right. So multiply by 53. And 53 times 8 is 424. So 424 minus the 228, we get 7y equals 196 over 53. And we divide by 7, or we can multiply by 1/7. It's the same thing. So y equals 196 over, let's see here, 7 goes into 186 twice, 14, that's 5, 28 times. So 28, I guess the answer should be 28 over 53. And that would be your correct answer. All right, number 9. Let's get rid of fractions. I'm going to multiply the top by 6 and the bottom by 3. So 6 times 1/3 is 2. 6 times 1/2 is 3. 3 times c is 3c. 3 times 2/3 is 2. And 3 times -1. All right, now I'm going to multiply. Let's go ahead and since these are opposite, let's go ahead and get those to be 6's. So multiply by 2 and multiply this by 3. We get 4c plus 6d equals 60, and 9c minus 6d equals -9. 13c equals 51 divided by 13. C equals 51/13. That doesn't reduce. So let's go ahead and choose, I'll just use this one right here. 3 times c, 51 over 13, minus 2 times d equals -3. Okay, so 3 times 51 is 153 over 13. So we get -2d equals -3, and we're going to subtract the 153/13 to the right. So we get a common denominator, make that 13, that's 39, -39, don't drop the negative. So -2d equals -180/192 over 13. And when we multiply by negative, or divide by -2, it's the same as multiplying by -1/2. Negative times a negative is positive, and 192 divided by 2 is 96 over 13. So 51/13 and 96/13. All right. Let's go ahead and see where we got to get the same exact coefficients. So since these are opposites, let's make those 6's. So if I multiply the top by the square root of 3, that'll be a square root of 6 in the middle there. And the bottom by the square root of 2, let's see what we get. Square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. And that becomes the square root of 6y. And 2 times 3 is going to be 6. On the bottom, that's going to be 4x. 2 times 2. And that's going to be the square root of 6y. And that'll be 2. Okay, so we add. We get 7x equals 8, because the y's cancel out. And x equals 8/7. Right, so if x is 8/7, let's do the square root of 3 times 8/7 minus the square root of 2y equals 2 square root of 3. So what do we have here? Actually, let's do this equation down here. 3 times x, which is 8/7, minus the square root of 6y equals 6. So that's 24/7. So negative square root of 6y equals 6 minus 24/7. Common denominator, 42 minus 24 is 18. And we're going to, if we square both sides, no, let's not do that. Let's divide by the negative square root of 6, which is multiplying by 1 over the negative square root of 6. So y is equal to 18 over 7, -7 square root of 6. Got to rationalize. So y equals see, 18 square root of 6 all over negative 7 times 6 is negative 42. We can reduce 18 and 42 by 6, and we get 3 square root of 6 over negative 7. So 8/7 and 3 square root of 6 over 7. So it's negative there. That's your answer. Let's get rid of our decimals. Let's multiply by 100 on everything. And that's negative 3x plus 7y equals 23. And 4x minus 5y equals 15. So now our signs are opposite on both x and y. It doesn't matter which one you pick. It really didn't matter that before either. Let's go ahead and do the x's this time. Let's multiply by 4 on the top and 3 on the bottom. And we get negative 12x plus 28y equals 80, 92. On the bottom we get 12x minus 15y equals 45. X's cancel out, and we have 13y equals 137. So divide by 13, and that's your y value. Okay, so let's plug it in for y. Let's just use the bottom one here. Doesn't matter which one you use. 4x minus 5 times y, 137/13 equals 15. 4x minus 500, 685. Let's see, 5 times 137. 685. So 685 over 13. So 4x equals 15 over 1 plus 685 over 13. So I'll multiply by 13, and 15 times 13 is 195. Okay, so 195 plus the 685, it's 880. Oops, 880 over 13. Multiply by 1/4, and 4 goes into 88, 22, so 220 times. So x is 220 over 13. So 220 over 13 and 137 over 13. Well, let's multiply the top by 3. That's 6x minus 9y equals 15. And you get negative 6x plus 9y equals 12. You add those together, and you get 0 equals 27. So no solution. All right, let's multiply by 2. We get 6m minus 8n equals 4. Negative 6m plus 8n equals negative 4. Here, when we add these together, we get 0 equals 0. So this is infinitely many solutions. All right, let's multiply. You can pick x's or y's here. It doesn't really matter. I'll pick the y's. We'll multiply by, we do have the positives and negatives there. Let's choose the x's. Multiply the top by 4 and the bottom by 5. 8y minus 20x equals 0. 15y plus 20x equals 0. Get 23y equals 0. So divided by 23 is still 0. And if y is 0, 2 times 0 minus 5x equals 0. So x is still going to be 0. So 0, 0 is where those two meet. So now we're going to do a little substitution type of problem, which I'm sure you're listening to this. So we're going to let 1 over x be u and 1 over y be v. So if I do that, that's the top equation, just for you to understand what's happening here. 2 times 1 over x is the same thing as 2 over x. So that becomes 2u. And we have 3 times 1 over y. That becomes 3 over y. So 1 over y is v. That's 3v. If we do the same thing on the bottom one, we get 4u minus 5v equals 1. And so this is your new set of equations, and we'll come back to what we let it equal when we're done. So let's solve this. Let's multiply the top equation by -2, because I want these to be opposite signs. Okay, so that's -4u plus 3, that'll be minus 6v equals 4. And the bottom one is 4u minus 5v equals 1. If we add those together, the u's cancel out, we get -11v equals 5. V equals -5/11. So let's substitute that in. I'll use the bottom equation. 4u minus 5 times v is -5/11, equals 1. So 4u minus, we'll do a plus 25 over 11 equals 1. Minus a negative is plus a positive. So we'll move that to the other side. 4u equals 1 minus 25 over 11. Get a common denominator. 4u equals -14 over 11. Multiply by 1/4. Divide by 2, that's -7 over 2. So u is -7 over 22. All right, now we have to figure this part out. U is equal to 1 over x. So 1 over x is equal to -7 over 22. So we cross multiply, -7x equals 22. So x is equal to -22/7. V is equal to -5/11. And v is equal to 1 over y. So basically it's just the reciprocal of what you're doing here. So y is equal to 11 over 5, negative. So our answer should be -22/7, -11/5. So that was a tough one. Let's do 23. Same thing here. Let's let u equal 1 over x plus 2 because they are the same, and v equal 1 over y minus 5. So we get 8u minus 6v equals 3, and 4u plus 12v equals -1. So we can multiply the top by 2, get 16u minus 12v equals 6. And the second equation, you see that the v's reduce out, or cancel out. So 20u equals 5. U equals 1/4. 5 divided by 20 is 1/4. And let's just use this equation. 4 times u plus 12v equals -1. Subtract 1, 12v equals -2. Divide by 12, v equals -1/6. All right, so u is 1 over x plus 2. And that u is equal to 1/4. So we cross multiply. So x is 2. Same thing here, v is 1 over y minus 5. Cross multiply, that's a negative that you got to distribute through there. -y plus 5 equals 6. So -y is equal to 1. Y is equal to -1. So we have 2, -1 for our answer. Okay. So here, whenever you see addition, that means they had to have like bases to put them together, and that becomes where you add your exponents. So 2 to the x plus 1. So we're separating that. It's just one little tool to use. And the bottom equation is 2 to the x minus, that'll be 3 to the y times 3 to the first. And here's what you want to do. This is 3 to the y. Okay, 3 to the y. So we're going to let u equal 2 to the x and v equal 3 to the y, because they're the same in both equations, okay? So if we do that, that becomes 2 u plus v equals 11, and u minus 3v equals negative 26. So let's solve this one. Let's multiply the top by 3 because you have opposite signs. So 6u plus 3v equals 33, and u minus 3v equals negative 26. Add 7u equals 7. So u equals 1. Again, we use this equation. 2 times 1 plus v equals 11. Subtract 2 and we get 9. Well, u is 2 to the x. So 2 to the x equals 1. So how do we solve that? We have to change that to logarithmic form. So we do the log base 2 of 1 equals x. Well, the log of any base of 1 is 0. So x is equal to 0. Now v is 9, so 3 to the y equals 9. Log base 3 of 9 equals y. And log base 3, 3 squared is 9. So if those are the same, the exponent is the answer. So 0, 2 will be your answer. Now our story problem. The price of admission to a high school play was $3 for students and $4.50 for non-students. So 3 for adults, 3 for students and $4.50 for non-students. Okay. And the total, if you added all that together, it gives you $1,555.50. If 450 tickets were sold, how many of each kind were purchased? Okay, so in the story problem, this is the only equation they gave you. It's understood that you have student ticket and non-student tickets, and that there are 450 tickets total. So here we have price, and on the second one, we have not value, you have things, I should say. And this happens a lot in story problems. So don't forget this type of problem. So here's our two equations. Let's multiply the bottom by negative 3. So the top equation, 3s plus 450n equals 1555.50. Okay, and the bottom one is negative 3s minus 3n equals 1350, negative 1350. Okay, the s's cancel out. We get positive 150n equals 1555.50 minus 1350. That's 205.50. And we divide by the 150, and n equals 137. So the number of non-student tickets are 137. So that means from 450 minus the 137, there were 313 adult tickets. Tough problem, but please don't forget this. This happens a lot in story problems where you only have one equation given and the other one is supposed to be understood. All right, you are all done.